Karaoke is a platform for young aspiring singers to shine and express their musical abilities. Tune in to CBC TV 8 on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. and repeat it on Saturdays at 2 p.m. and enjoy the performances of these talented young singers.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities. Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school, Cub Scout or Brownie Pack, or any organization or club with children ages 4 to 11 years? If yes is the answer, then we at Fun School, we're looking for you. Let's have fun singing, dancing, listening to amazing stories, doing craft, and so much more. I'm such a kid at heart. But to be part of this fun and exciting new season of Fun School, just simply send an email to Alicia Alves Grant at aa.grant@cbc.bb for further details. Fun School is back, and we're looking for you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Oh, hi. My name is Stacia Whitaker, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and a member of the Heart and Stroke Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. My motto is, when in doubt, leave it out, and it goes for when I'm eating, because sometimes things have ingredients that we're not sure of, and I like to keep it simple. And if I'm eating something and I'm not sure the ingredients in that particular thing, then I choose to leave it out. So I keep my snacking simple with fruit, nuts, or just water. It's easy to remember, there's no added ingredients, and it's also very nutritious. So remember, childhood obesity is real, so choose healthier alternatives. And when in doubt, leave it out.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
98.1 to 1 is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We're a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners.
We're committed to working with our clients and advertisers to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve.
98.1 The One. Celebrating 18 and still your number one party station.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kia Lewis.
This is the CBC Morning Report for today, Thursday, November 23rd. I'm Tisha Hines. Good morning. In our top story, the Chief Education Officer, Dr. Ramona Archer, says the school systems does not have enough guidance counselors or social workers, and they're looking to improve the situation. This was one of the areas that came up during the final consultation on education reform at Harrison College. She was responding to a question from the audience.
We recognize that more and more children are coming to school with psychological challenges, social challenges, behavioral challenges, and the number of guidance counselors that we have is just not sufficient. You may be aware that we have school counselors at schools as well, who are there to help the guidance counselors, but again, because of the number of cases we're seeing, that in itself is not sufficient. So we're looking at the expansion. Yeah, there's a proposal for the expansion of the guidance counselors and expansion in the number of social workers. So that is that part with the guidance counselors. In terms of restorative practice, this is something that was offered at Erdiston Teachers Training College some time ago, I think about 4 or 5 years ago. And many of our principals had been trained in restorative practices. In fact, at the Ministry of Education, we have an officer who has conducted training quite recently for principals here in Barbados. She did it with some of our education officers as well. We need to utilize more of these practices to help with discipline, so we are exploring that as well.
The night was also very student-centered, with many children expressing their views about the proposed colleges of excellence and special programs. Harrison College Upper Sixth student, who introduced herself as Sarah, expressed her concerns about studies in the arts and on the limited access to work in Barbados.
My concern lies in if the Barbados job market is going to be able to cater to these specialist programs. Specifically, I think we can recognize that the arts is underdeveloped in Barbados. On the recent student exchange between Harrison College and Arden High School in Jamaica, I got the opportunity to go to the ministries over there, and they spoke about how Jamaica seeks to support their athletes and create a bridge to pro so they can have greats like Bob Marley and Usain Bolt. And I recognize our attempts to do the same, but we have to notice that we are not there. I attended the Performing Arts Academy, Operation Triple Threat, for 4 years, and they've been known to have Barbadian students go overseas to study arts and have successful careers on cruise ships and whatnot. And I personally was looking to do the same. But you know what changed my mind? I was at the studio day, and I saw an alum there sit in the corner and sob because they realized that the Barbados job market could not cater for them, and they had to seek alternate forms of employment. The timeline in here is too ambitious. It's not just a problem on if we have a job market for the arts and schools, but also the qualifications. The CXC Regional Merit List came out last week, Friday. You know what was written under Performing Arts Unit 2 Dance? No students received an acceptable grade across the entire region. Students are not leaving school with the qualification in this area. Before we seek to implement policies of this grandeur, we need to have a conversation with CXC and the region as a whole to fix the problems that are pre-existing within these programs that are functioning poorly.
Deputy Chief Education Officer Dr. Roderick Rudder responded to her concerns with the admittance that the ministry does not need to re-examine some things with the Caribbean Examinations Council.
There's a need for deeper conversations with the Caribbean Examinations Council, where we have to look very closely at the change in demand, not only domestically, but across the region. One of the things that was said quite earlier was the need to engage in students' choices, looking at the interests of students. If you look, for example, at the subjects that you mentioned, sports, and you mentioned the arts, there are two things that stand out. Among our boys, they have gravitated to physical education. Why? It's an area that they believe they can dominate. Another area which is of critical importance to us is the arts. Barbados has done very well internationally. If you look at our ambassador, Rihanna, and others, we have top musicians and other artists in the island. But Barbados is not going to be our only marketplace and job area. The globe is our marketplace now, and we have to prepare Barbadians to be able to access job opportunities or entrepreneurial opportunities of a global nature, because many persons are sitting in their studies or their bedrooms and earning a living now without having to leave these shores. So the mindset itself has to change, that we have to find a job here in Barbados, but rather we have to prepare our young people to be able to access opportunities no matter where they are internationally. And this is where the digital environment comes into play, utilizing the technology that will allow us to be able to access learning, not just within the context of the proposed senior colleges, but to be able to access learning no matter where we can access the material from.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, Israel is continuing bombing of Gaza, hours ahead of the agreed ceasefire.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
It's summer vacation, and CBC TV8 says laugh a little. Your mid-mornings have now included some family-friendly, side-splitting series like The Partridge Family, Benson, and Designing Women. TV not to be missed this vacation. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on CBC TV8. It's Match Day Live from the 246 with host Damian Best. Your all-access pass to the action happening in the BFA Premier League and beyond. Every last Monday of the month on CBC TV8. Kickoff time, 8:30 p.m. with analysis from our panel and highlights of the top performances. You can...
Dozens of people from the same family have been killed in the Jabalia refugee camp as Israel continued to bombard the besieged Gaza Strip in the hours after an agreement was reached for a truce that was expected to go into effect today.
The question people here in Gaza are asking is, what does a ceasefire really mean when they are at risk of dying from Israeli bombardment? You know, just judging from the kind of injuries that we see at the hospital and the scenes of people who are killed and brought to the hospitals, many Palestinians started to believe that Israeli military and Israel itself is seeking to kill an entire generation of Palestinians by targeting women and children, and that has been made clear by the ongoing airstrikes, the carpet bombing of the entire northern part of the Gaza Strip, mainly and concentrated at Jabalia Tower. We've seen earlier entire families were wiped out, and just within the past 45 minutes, another massive airstrike targeting a residential home, killing 9 people. And just as we speak, there are, we could hear loud explosions coming from the eastern side of the city of Khan Yunis, namely Abbasan, Khuza, and Bani Suhaila. These are eastern side of the city of Khan Yunis being heavily bombarded by artillery shellings. And at earlier hours of today, 2 homes were targeted in Rafah and another one in Khan Yunis, killing a total number of 10 people combined. A whole family in Rafah was killed, and another family here in Khan Yunis at the western side of Khan Yunis was killed as well. Those family members who were killed along with their host were evacuees from Gaza and the northern part of the Gaza Strip. The irony here is when the Israeli military ordered people to leave the northern part of the Gaza Strip and Gaza City to avoid being bombed, they are getting bombed here and they are getting killed here. And that's why there is a sheer amount of frustration as people, there is a risk of dying no matter where you are, whether you are in the north or the south. And that's exactly why people are not betting much on the ceasefire, as Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, made it clear in a devastating and depressing statement that the fighting will continue.
With the pending ceasefire, humanitarian aid is expected to roll into Gaza, but officials say it won't be enough.
Gaza, death is everywhere. Israel's attacks have destroyed every aspect of life. After 47 days of bombardment, Palestinians are about to get 4 days of respite. In the ruins of their homes and makeshift tents, out in the cold.
We want many humanitarian ceasefires. We want a full ceasefire. There are children, elders, women still under the rubble. If we want to take them out from under the rubble, we need a great deal of time, at least a month.
No food, drinking water, electricity, or medicine. Palestinians have none of the basics needed to survive. Before the war, 850 trucks would enter the Gaza Strip every day through the Karam Abu Salim crossing with Israel and the Rafah crossing with Egypt. That ended with the total blockade Israel imposed on October the 7th. 2 weeks into the war, the first humanitarian aid trucks were allowed into Gaza. Since October the 21st, the UN says only more than 1,400 trucks carrying aid and fuel have entered the Strip, a trickle compared to the number of trucks before the war. Under the temporary ceasefire, 300 humanitarian aid trucks per day carrying supplies and fuel will be allowed into Gaza during the 4-day pause in fighting.
Well, coming up today on Morning Barbados, Professor Nicola Rollock of King's College London is going to be in to share with us. That should be a very interesting discussion. She's a professor of social policy. Plus, the winners of the Pitching for Progress competition will be here. We, of course, have the Lucerna health tips to share with you. And we're giving you an opportunity to win tickets to Soca Goes Gold. That's all coming up at 6:30. Next, we have more news, sports, and weather. Stay with us.
It's Matchday Live from the 246 with host Damian Best. Your all-access pass to the action happening in the BFA Premier League and beyond. every last Monday of the month on CBC TV8. Kickoff time, 8:30 p.m. with analysis from our panel and highlights of the top performances. You can weigh in on the discussion via WhatsApp on 228-5562. It's Match Day Live from the 246. Don't you miss it.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
Barbados has taken another step to ensure it complies with the demands of the Financial Action Task Force. The island's Anti-Money Laundering Authority has launched a website to help ensure businesses conform to required standards. CBC's Trevor Thorpe reports.
The Anti-Money Laundering Authority's Compliance Unit has been set up to provide information and resources to assist in structuring businesses to meet minimum standards. The Attorney General admits there may be missteps, but he has called on the business sector to accept the entity.
The work of the Compliance Unit is invaluable. It is a new unit. We are going to, and I say we're going to make a few missteps along the way, but never with malice, and always from the perspective of trying to improve our work and improve our relationship with you.
Chief Compliance Officer Shari Squires says the website has been constructed in 2 phases.
This website is in a 2-phase approach. This is the first phase that we are launching today. The second phase will be a portal where we're going to have the DNFBPs, which is the designated non-financial businesses and professionals. We're going to have a portal where you can log in, you will to register with the compliance unit. Any information that we need you to submit, you will upload it using the website.
Ms. Squires has revealed more details about the site, which was created during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We have the About Us section, so this gives us a whole background in terms of who we are as a compliance unit, when we were created, why we were created, and we have information about our vision, mission, philosophy. All of that is there. We have about our board, which is the Anti-Money Laundering Authority, and this is the supervisory board, and you will just see a breakdown of the members of who actually sit on the board in terms of representatives from other government agencies, and then there are 4 independent directors on our board.
The Anti-Money Laundering Authority's Compliance Unit also offers on-site and off-site monitoring services. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Thanks, Trevor. It's been confirmed the island's Independence Celebrations Parade in March past will be headed to the community of Black Rock. The parade will take place at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex, while the march past will proceed along Black Rock Main Road to Carlton Supermarket, where the official salute will be taken. Home Affairs Minister Wilfred Abrams says the venue has been selected because of the unavailability of other sites, including Kensington Oval, the Garrison Savannah, Weymouth Police Sports Club, and the Bridgetown Port.
Default venue was to go back to the Garrison Savannah, but anybody who's passed in vicinity of the Garrison Savannah over the last couple of weeks or months will see that the Savannah is dug up. There's some construction going on there and some remedial works going on there, so the field is completely unfit to host a parade at this point in time. We went to the other venue, which we've used in a bind, especially when there's a lot of rainfall. We went to the port. But in the area where we would normally have the parade, where they were clear for the parade, there were hundreds of containers there. And logistically, it would have proved a significant challenge for us. The port undertook that they would have the containers moved for the Independence Day parade, but it could not guarantee that the containers would be moved to be able to have sufficient rehearsals in the space for the parade to come off seamlessly. So that was a no-go.
In encouraging Barbadians to come out, Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defence Force, Commodore Arrington Sherland, says seating will be provided for 2,700 individuals.
There are going to be 17 detachments, 967 persons. The shape of the parade is no smaller. What I would say, though, to Barbadians is don't knock the venue until you've tried it. It's a very quaint little area. It has a certain, I would suggest, intimacy about it that would lend itself to that Barbadian feel. So therefore, the numbers won't be the same, and the space is quite adequate.
Time for a look at sports. Harrison College have repeated as both the boys and girls champions at the 2023 Powerade Secondary Inter-School Swimming Championships. Competing at the Aquatic Center yesterday, College won the boys' title for the 12th consecutive time with 270 points, while they took the girls for the 11th year running with 327. Second in the boys were the swimmers from Christchurch Foundation with 213 and third St. Michael's School with 180, while runners-up in the girls were Foundation with 172 and Queen's College third with 119. There were 3 swimmers who totaled 54 points, the highest among all competitors. Amaya Harrison of College in the 12 and under girls and Zachary Burke of College in the 12 and under boys, and Tony Waldron of Springer in the 15 and over girls. CBC's Mark Seal reports on the 50-meter breaststroke and freestyle events.
After the lunch break, first off the blocks was the 50-meter breaststroke for girls 12 and under. In the middle lane in the yellow national cap was Amaya Harrison of Harrison College, the favorite, and the race swam through the form as she came home first in 37.45 seconds. On her right in the blue cap was Kaija Eastman of Codrington, and on the other side of Harrison, her teammate, Clea Springer, in third. The boys' equivalent, well, there was no competition for Zachary Burke of College as he beat the field by over 4 seconds, winning in 33.75 seconds from Bo Washington of Lockerbie College and Elliot Reed of St. Winifred's. On to the 13 to 14's breaststroke. In the girls, there was another clear winner in celebrated Carifta athlete Jaya Simmons of College. She was 2 seconds ahead in 36.21. Now the real battle was behind Simmons, where her teammate Toria Aline, right at the bottom of your screen, touched out Naria McLean of St. Michael. In the boys, we had a keen battle for the top positions, with the top 3 finishers pulling for all their worth, and everyone coming in under 34 seconds. The winner was Victor Ashby of College, 33.32, followed by Tariq Greenidge of Foundation and Shadane Camacho of Queen's College. 15 and over breasts, the girls, there was an upset if you trust the seed times, as Springer's Tony Waldron pipped Michaela Clark of QC in 38.64. Sanya Walton of Foundation finished third. And in the boys, Joshua Ross of SMS Cougars was the winner in 31.59, followed home by Rajani St. Hill of Foundation, and Ross's teammate, Matthew Lashley, was third. We switch now to the fast 50-meter freestyle, girls 12 and under, and Harrison of College was again the winner. Her time, 28.35, as she won that age group's individual title with 54 points. Her teammate, Springer, was second in the 50, but third overall, while Eastman of Codrington was third in the 50 and second overall. Boys 12 and under, and Burke of College notched another victory in 26.72, and he was first overall with 54 points. Washington of Lockerbie was second in the event and third overall, while Mihail Sobers of QC was third. But third overall went to Reed of St. Winifred's. Girls 13 to 14, and we had a new sprint record. Simmons of College was clocked at 26.89 seconds, breaking the mark of Olympian Daniel Titus in 26.16. Simmons also won the age group with 52 points. Swimming under the old mark as well in the 50 was Heidi Stout of St. Winifred's in 27 seconds flat. She was also second overall. Third went to Aline of 8C, who was also third overall. The boys' equivalent, Ashby of College, was again on the top podium, his time 26.13. He was also the age group winner with 50 points. Second in that race was Greenwich of Foundation, and he was also second overall, with Brendan Gill of Dighton Griffith third and third. 15 and over, the girls, Waldron of Springer took top spot again, 29.34. Rebecca Weeks of Lockerbie was second in the 50 and second overall, while Kenya Dean of 8C was third and third. Now to the boys 15 and over 50-meter freestyle to determine the fastest secondary school swimmer. And the event matched the height, with the top two positions being determined by 2/100th of a second. Joshua Ross of St. Michael, the closest to the screen of the middle lanes, paved Aquan Critchlow of Foundation. Ross was timed at 25.74 and Critchlow 25.76. And fittingly, there were also 1-2 in the overall age group standings. Third went to Lashley of SMS, who was also third overall.
Go College. It's time for the weather. The barometric pressure stands at 1012.1 millibars. It's 25.2 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity, 94%. And the winds are coming out of the northeast at 26 kilometers per hour. The present weather is partly cloudy. Definitely some showers outside. Sea conditions smooth to moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1 to 1.5 meters and increasing. Here's a look now at how the tides roll in today. As usual, be careful as you head out for your early morning sea bath. General conditions for Barbados throughout the day. Cloudy to overcast with scattered moderate to heavy showers at first, becoming increasingly sunny towards the afternoon. And as we move into the evening period, what you can expect is for conditions to be mostly clear. Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network of stations on 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. That's the Morning Report. Morning Barbados is next.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
It's Thursday, November 23rd. I guess we have to start by saying happy Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrate and all of those of you in the U.S. watching. I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here with you until 8 o'clock this morning. Boy, do we have a great show planned for you today. And I'm hoping that you can stick around. It's a holiday in the U.S., which means that you have a little extra time to share with us before running off to work. We won't have a turkey here today, but I'm hoping that you share some of your photos. Certainly if you're getting those goodies ready. I know in the U.S. you usually do a lot of barbecues and outdoor events, lots of family. And that's more of a Christmas to them, like how our Christmases are. So that's how they celebrate. So happy Thanksgiving to all of the Bajan Yankees. How about that? And of course, the turkey is always the star of the show. All right, so this beloved U.S. Thanksgiving is, of course, a holiday celebrated typically on the fourth Thursday of November, and it's a time to reflect on the year, be thankful, and celebrate with friends and family by enjoying a delicious meal together. The origins of Thanksgiving can be traced back to the 1620s when a group of English settlers known as the Pilgrims arrived in what is now Massachusetts. After a harsh winter, the Pilgrims were able to harvest a bountiful crop to help the Native Americans. And in gratitude, the Pilgrims held a feast to give thanks for their survival and the abundance of food. This event is often considered the first Thanksgiving in America. And I think it's a great story. How about that? So make sure you do some thanks today. I have some friends who usually do Thanksgiving parties, but it's not all about the turkey. It's more about the drinks. Who knows? We'll see. Now, did you know that the Barbados Police Service Band created history in November of 1962. It was the first ever military band to broadcast via satellite while on the Ed Sullivan Show. The Ed Sullivan Show was a television variety program that aired on CBS from 1948 to 1971. It aired every Sunday for 23 years and played host to the world's greatest talents. It was well known for bringing rock and roll music to the forefront of American culture through acts like Elvis Presley, the Beatles, and the Rolling Stones. So a special good morning to all the members, past and present, of the Barbados Police Service Band. Wonderful stuff. So we have lots coming up for you today, starting, of course, with Rosemary Campbell-Stevens, who's an educational leadership consultant in the UK. And in conjunction with UWI Cave Hill, they're hosting a free public lecture entitled From Colonized Roots to Decolonized Fruits. It's coming up today at the Frank Cullimore Hall. So let's go ahead and welcome Rosemary Campbell-Stevens to Morning Barbados. Welcome.
Hello, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's wonderful to have you with us. All right, let's start at the very beginning. Tell us more about the lecture that comes off today and about your involvement.
Oh, well, I am really honored to be honest with you. I have been asked by the Ministry of Education to be part of this celebration as Barbados moves from being into being a republic. And as part of that, we are looking at the systems that Barbados has inherited through its colonial past and how we can begin to decolonize those systems. So that's what the lecture is about. I'm an educator by trade, and so I am going to be talking about how we move from the colonized roots of certain systems to the decolonized fruits.
Without giving too much, what are some of the fresh perspectives you think that we'll be able to maybe discover and bring to this particular discussion?
I think that one of the things that we as Caribbean people have not been 100% honest about is the fact that our colonial systems, such as our education systems, have very, very deep roots that are still manifesting today in the way that our children, and I'm not just talking about children in Barbados, right across the Caribbean, goes through a statutory education system where they learn actually very little themselves before the Ma'afa, before the period of African enslavement. And in order for us as Caribbean people to take our rightful place in the new emerging world order, we need an education system that is fit for purpose. So the new, if you like, information will be about who were we before the period? How has colonization rooted itself in today's systems and structures, and particularly in our education system? And how can we begin to decolonize our own minds of how we move forward?
Why do you think it has taken such a long time for us to move to a position of transforming or to even acknowledge that the system needs to be transformed? Why is this the right time, to your mind?
Do you know, there are a number of universal laws that say that nothing happens before time. And I think if we look at what is happening in the world today, if we look at what's happening right across the globe, we'll find that there are seismic shifts taking place across all kinds of systems. Look at the food insecurity, look at climate change, look at the way that the world is grappling with inequity and colonization. look at what is happening in terms of wars, physical wars, spiritual wars, uh, things don't happen out of time. And so I think there is a perfect storm, if I could say that, across the world, where people to terms with their histories and are now looking as a new world order emerges as to whether the systems that were in place and have been in over many decades and in some cases centuries are fit for purpose in terms of. And so that's why we're at. But, this isn't the beginning, this isn't the first time that Barbados or other places that have formerly been colonized have been having these discussions. These discussions would have been happening during independence and prior to independence. But at this particular juncture, we do need to seriously begin to think about which systems continue to uphold the oppression that colonization forced on us.
How do you think Barbadians who reside outside of the island view, the colonization and how it has shaped our education as compared to maybe Barbadians who live and work here and aren't necessarily as touched by it or, some of the offshoots of it that we see in other parts of the world?
I think you've nailed it basically in terms of saying what the differences might be for Bajans outside of Barbados. I think outside of Barbados are very, very clear, particularly if they live in countries like the States or Canada or the United Kingdom, about the impact of colonization on their countries and their parents' countries of origins. They're very, very clear about the level of racism that still exists and the shift to the right in terms of politics globally, which is exacerbating issues of race, class, gender inequality. So I think people are very, very clear about that, and probably more focused on it because of being in a minority situation. And I would imagine that friends and family who live in Barbados, not unlike other Caribbean islands, where they are not the minority, might be less focused on to what extent are those inequalities in our systems due to the colonization that we went through over 400 years and are still going through in many ways.
All right, and I would imagine that this has truly helped to shape your personal perspective as well as your professional perspective. Dare I say the discussion is quite timely considering we're at the stage that we are moving towards the transformation, so to speak, of our
Yes.
educational system. So this is a discussion that I feel should have taken place a long time ago, but here we are. So who am I to complain? What are you looking forward to most in terms of sharing?
I think what I'm looking forward to most is sharing just much transformation requires us to decolonize our minds and the extent to which it is really possible to do so because the colonization process really seduced us to forget who we were and who, in fact, we are. And so for me, it is exciting that through a decolonization process, we begin to remember who we are and what our capacity is on planet Earth. I mean, remember, African people were the first people on planet Earth. We gave planet Earth humanity, civilization, so many things in terms of the modern world that is not attributed to Africa, but attributed to different parts. And I'm excited to see our young people excited by that knowledge of.
All right, talk to us about your link to to Barbados. That's very, very important.
Well, I have a lot of Barbadian friends, I have to tell you. I now live in Jamaica. Now live in my homeland. I've lived there now for 8 years. My husband and I were there. But before that, I lived and worked in the UK and was an educator for too many years, 35 years, and receive an MBE from my services to education. And I have to say, of all the work in the UK, the work that I've been most proud of is that's been led by fellow Black educators, and a disproportionate number of those fabulous educators are Barbadian. And some of them will be in the audience tonight, actually, because some of them have now come home to live, etc. So, I love Barbados, and I love the energy and delivery. And I'm going to be sharing something historically that will really land well with people in terms of Barbados's role from the 1600s right up to the current day.
All right, well, good stuff. It's good to have you back in the Caribbean, and we most certainly look forward to seeing you tonight delivering the lecture under that very provocative title, I dare say, From Colonized Roots to Decolonized Fruits. Is coming off at the Frank Cullimer Hall, 6:30 this evening, so make sure you come on out and be a part of it. And as a part of the lecture, Dr. Laurette Bristol of UWI will be sharing in the discussion as well, but we'll also get a chance to see you in action. Rosemary Campbell-Stevens, educational leadership consultant. They credit you to the UK, but I'll take you for the Caribbean. So we look forward to seeing you speaking on the topic at hand tonight, and very, very timely discussion as well. So thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you very much indeed for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're delving between the pages of a very interesting book in the next chapter.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I'm Anne St. John, a consultant pediatrician. When packing healthy lunch boxes, do include a fruit, which includes a banana, apple, orange, or grapes to supply fiber. Aim for low-calorie packaged snacks without the mention of flour or sugar amongst the four ingredients on the back label. 1 in 3 children in Barbados is affected by overweight or obesity.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Time now for the next chapter. We love to delve between the pages of books and good books. So let's welcome Professor Nicola Rawlock of King's College, London, UK. That seems to be the general trend today.
Good
so
morning.
Welcome to Morning Barbados.
Good morning. Hi.
Wonderful to have you with us. So today we're looking at the book, The Racial Code, Tales of Resistance and Survival. Summarize what the general book is about, what generally the book is about, rather.
So the book, which is published by Penguin Press, is about subtle forms of racism. I think particularly in the UK, we have an understanding of racism, but only in explicit forms. So we can understand when someone's called the N-word or something very, very obvious, but we're not so good at understanding those more subtle forms of racism that we think of as racial microaggressions. So this might be slights or put downs, being ignored, overlooked for promotion, for example, spoken over during meetings. And that's what this book is about.
How has your career and your background shaped your writing?
Well, I have to declare, so you had Rosemary Campbell-Stevens on earlier, and actually we were working at the same university many years ago, I won't tell you how many, back in London. But my career focuses on issues of racial justice and equalities. And the reason I got into that area is because I've been really concerned about the data. I've been working in the field for, and I'll say it quietly, about 25 years now, but don't tell anyone. And what I've been really struck by is that when we look at the data in terms of the outcomes for different ethnic minority groups, particularly black groups, time and time again, you find that we're at the bottom of the pile, if you will. And what's crucial, and this is what motivates and also concerns me, is that is the case even when we have the equivalent qualifications and experiences as our white counterparts. So the reason why I look at these issues in terms of subtle forms of racism and microaggressions is because I'm wanting to delve in some depth in terms of what happens, say, in the workplace, in the relationship that black people have with police in the UK. I'm wanting to explore these issues in greater depth and tease out the ways in which our experiences are negatively affected by racism. And let me say this if I can. We're really poor, really bad in the UK at understanding racism. Conversation tends to get shut down, or you're gaslighted. You're told that you've got a chip on your shoulder, or that you're being oversensitive. So it's really difficult to find a space where you can have a mature conversation about race before you're completely closed down. And I would say that as a black woman specialising in racial justice, that comes with its own particular challenges as well.
Now, why did you decide to go this particular mode to share in this way? Because as someone who has done much research, who's taught at the university level and who's been engaged in much research about what you're talking about, it's interesting that you would choose to put it in a book in this form.
Absolutely, that's a great question. So I think that the ways in which we sometimes write and communicate as academics can be a little bit, well, dry, a little bit boring, a bit alienating.
Did you say a little?
Just a little, just a little. And I think only makes sense to other academics.
Yes.
And for me as a black woman, I wanted to find a way, as a black female scholar interested in race, it didn't make sense to me to write in a way that only made sense to my peers. These are issues that affect us all in the UK, and it was important to me that I found a vehicle to communicate in a way that made sense to most people. And so the book, it is non-fiction, but what I've done is I've pulled together data, research evidence, reports, stories that have been covered by the press. I've pulled all of these together and I've teased out key themes and crafted stories around the themes. So even though this is non-fiction, the chapters are a series of narratives, because I think narrative storytelling, and I think that's something that's common here in Barbados, is a really great way of engaging people.
What do you want people to walk away feeling or thinking when they get between the pages of this book, the racial code?
So, well, let me answer that question a bit differently, if I may. So it's not necessary, there is what I want people to walk away feeling, but there's also what people have told me having read the book. And I think, and I wasn't expecting this, many people said that they find it funny. And I think it's because their experiences as black people, their experiences are conveyed in a way that they've never come across before. Because as I said, in the UK, we tend to get shut down. I think for white people, what they'll take away from it is a better understanding of anti-racism and how to be allies in terms of their black and minority ethnic colleagues, particularly in the workplace.
I know that some of your research focused on female professors.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Is that a part of what we can find in the book as well? Has all of your research been kind of compiled within the pages? Or I know you said that you explored some more empirical data, so maybe research from what came through police and things of that nature. But was that research included as well?
Yeah, so I carried out some research a few years ago looking at the experiences, the career experiences of black female professors. And this is before I was a professor. So the reason I did that is because when you look at the data, what you find is that you're least likely to be a professor if you're a black woman compared to if you're a white woman, a white man, and even a black man. So proportionally, you're less likely to. And I was curious about why that would be. So I spent some time speaking to 20 of the then 25 black female professors in the UK. The number's gone up, but the underrepresentation remains. And I spoke to them about their career experiences. And what I've done is I've drawn on some of that research and the research findings, and I've incorporated it actually in the first chapter of the book. And what I'm doing in the first chapter of the book is really finding a vehicle, a way of talking about the pain that some of these women go through when they're trying to get promotions. So let me, if I may, give you one example. One of the colleagues I spoke with talked about the lengths that she had to go to try and get promotion. And she thought, well, do you know what? I can see my white male counterpart there who's got no book publications, but yet they've been made professor. To minimize the possibility that they will overlook me, I will put in 3 book manuscripts. She still didn't get promoted. Or someone else who submitted their application for professor, didn't get it. And she was like, well, fine, that happens in life, but let me get some feedback. So she took the paperwork to one of the people who was on that interview panel and said to them, can you give me some feedback? And they said, we can just see that you've got a grammar error on page 3. So this is not the kind of substantive detail that you need in order to improve your record and then apply again in the future. So what I've done is I've captured the findings from that research and I've incorporated it in chapter 1, which is called Tapped Shoes.
All right, talk to me about the development of the book, the processes that you went through, because I would imagine that's a lot different based on what you've told us too, from how you would have worked on your academic papers or general research.
Yes, what I would say to you is that because this book is more creative, it meant that I wasn't bound by some of the rules, the regulations of writing in a very academic way. So for example, if you're writing a journal article, it has to be in a particular format, a particular tone, particular language, and it's all very proper, and I think quite constrained. I think there's a place for it, and it's important, but I wanted to do something a bit different with this book. So I make use of parody, I make use of satire, I pushed the boundaries between what is real and what might not be real because I want the reader to engage, I want the reader to be a little bit disturbed, to be provoked, to think beyond their usual way of thinking. So I spent a couple of years writing this, mainly during lockdown, and I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed the process because I could throw all the rules of academic writing, if you will, out of the window in order to get home the point, in order to drive home the pain of suffering racism, when you are determined and ambitious, when you want the best for your children, when you're being thwarted time and time again. So I think it's a really pleasurable experience to try and capture all of that in one place.
I think it's interesting too that you're able to put the research that you've done through the years into the characters that you're exploring in this particular book. Talk to us about where we can get the book to be able to delve into the pages.
Well, first of all, you can get it on Amazon. But you also can purchase copies. I am doing a lecture at UE next week, Wednesday the 29th of November, 6:15 p.m. at the Sagicor Business Centre. I'll be interviewed by Professor Troy Lord, who'll be talking to me a bit about the book, but also about my journey, as exciting as it is, to professorship.
That's beautiful stuff. So we look forward to that. Maybe you have to come back and talk to us about the lecture when we get a little closer to that. Of course, Professor Lord is head of SOSI, I believe.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Wonderful stuff. Look forward to that. But most importantly, we want to read this book. It's The Racial Code, Tales of Resistance and Survival. And even the overview is quite provocative, very, very interesting. And I think it's something that many of us can relate to even at the beginning of it, being mistaken for, the help.
Yes.
That storyline is
all common, yes.
It's one that has been thoroughly thrashed out, but not enough.
Yes.
Just one of those things.
Yeah.
All right, so make sure you pick it up. We have to say thanks so much to Professor Nicola Rollock of King's College London in the UK. We're going to see more of her because she's doing a talk with us, a lecture at UE next week. So maybe we can have you back to tell us more on that side once we get there. And we are Bajans, so we are malicious in the traditional, not in the traditional sense, in the Barbadian sense of the word. So you too must tell us your Bajan connection.
Well, I is Bajan too. My parents are Barbadian. My dad's here today.
Hi, Dad.
And I consider myself Bajan. My parents are very fortunate. I don't think I fully understood how important it was, but my parents brought me and my sister Natalie back to Barbados. Makes me feel quite emotional, actually, from when we were babies. So I know my family, my cousins, aunts, great aunts. And it feels a very important part of who I am. And I think if I connect this back, if I may, to what we were talking about earlier, I'm really struck by the foundation that my cultural identity, by being Barbadian, has given me in terms of surviving and navigating the kinds of issues we've been talking about this morning. I think without that, it would lack a certain foundation and I'd be a different person and a different woman.
Certainly gives a different perspective. We roll with the punches in a different way, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's where we take a break. Make sure you pick up the book, and who knows, we might be able to have Professor Rollock back with us to share about the book as we read it. So we have our questions and so on. Maybe we can set that up as well. All right, we're going to take a break here on Morning Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Kids Karaoke is a platform for young aspiring singers to shine and express their musical abilities. Tune in to CBC TV8 on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. and repeat it on Saturdays at 2 p.m. and enjoy the performances of these talented young singers.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities. Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school, Cub Scout or Brownie Pack, or any organization or club with children ages 4 to 11 years? If yes is the answer, then we at Fun School, we're looking for you. Let's have fun singing, dancing, listening to amazing stories, doing craft, and so much more. I'm such a kid at heart. But to be part of this fun and exciting new season of Fun School, just simply send a
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's Thursday, November 23rd. Time for an update of the news. The Chief Education Officer, Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw, says the school systems don't have enough guidance counselors or social workers, and they're looking to improve on the situation. This was one of the areas that came up during the final consultation on education reform at Harrison College. She was responding to a question from the audience.
We recognize that more and more children are coming to school with psychological challenges, social challenges, behavioral challenges, and the number of guidance counselors that we have is just not sufficient. You may be aware that we have school counselors at schools as well, who are there to help the guidance counselors, but again, because of the number of cases we're seeing, that in itself is not sufficient. So we're looking at the expansion. Yeah, there's a proposal for the expansion of the guidance counselors and expansion in the number of social workers. So that is that part with the guidance counselors. In terms of restorative practice, this is something that was offered at Erdiston Teachers Training College some time ago, I think about 4 or 5 years ago. And many of our principals had been trained in restorative practices. In fact, at the Ministry of Education, we have an officer who has conducted training quite recently for principals here in Barbados. She did it with some of our education officers as well. We need to utilize more of these practices to help with discipline. So we are exploring that as well.
Now, the night was also very student-centered, with many children expressing their views about the proposed colleges of excellence and special programs. Harrison College Upper 6 student, who introduced herself as Sarah, expressed her concerns about studies in the arts and on the limited access to work in Barbados.
My concern lies in if the Barbados job market is going to be able to cater to these specialist programs. Specifically, I think we can recognize that the arts is underdeveloped in Barbados. On the recent student exchange between Harrison College and Arden High School in Jamaica, I got the opportunity to go to the ministries over there, and they spoke about how Jamaica seeks to support their athletes and create a bridge to pro so they can have greats like Bob Marley and Usain Bolt. And I recognize our attempts to do the same, but we have to notice that we are not there. I attended the Performing Arts Academy, Operation Triple Threat, for 4 years, and they've been known to have Barbadian students go overseas to study arts and have successful careers on cruise ships and whatnot. And I personally was looking to do the same. But you know what changed my mind? I was at the studio day, and I saw an alum there sit in the corner and sob because they realized that the Barbados job market could not cater for them, and they had to seek alternate forms of employment. The timeline in here is too ambitious. It's not just a problem on if we have a job market for the arts and schools, but also the qualifications. The CXC Regional Merit List came out last week, Friday. You know what was written under Performing Arts Unit 2 Dance? No students received an acceptable grade across the entire region. Students are not leaving school with the qualification in this area. Before we seek to implement policies of this grandeur, we need to have a conversation with CXC and the region as a whole to fix the problems that are pre-existing within these programs that are functioning poorly.
Deputy Chief Education Officer Dr. Roderick Rudder responded to her concerns with the admittance that the ministry does need to re-examine some things about the Caribbean Examinations Council.
There's a need for deeper conversations with the Caribbean Examinations Council, where we have to look very closely at the change in demand, not only domestically, but across the region. One of the things that was said quite earlier was the need to engage in students' choices, looking at the interests of students. If you look, for example, at the subjects that you mentioned, sports, and you mentioned the arts, there are two things that stand out. Among our boys, they have gravitated to physical education. Why? It's an area that they believe they can dominate. Another area which is of critical importance to us is the arts. Barbados has done very well internationally. If you look at our ambassador, Rihanna, and others, we have top musicians and other artists in the island. But Barbados is not going to be our only marketplace and job area. The globe is our marketplace now, and we have to prepare Barbadians to be able to access job opportunities or entrepreneurial opportunities of a global nature, because many persons are sitting in their studies or their bedrooms and earning a living now without having to leave these shores. So the mindset itself has to change, that we have to find a job here in Barbados, but rather We have to prepare our young people to be able to access opportunities no matter where they are internationally. And this is where the digital environment comes into play, utilizing the technology that will allow us to be able to access learning, not just within the context of the proposed senior colleges, but to be able to access learning no matter where we can access the material from.
Barbados has taken yet another step to ensure it complies with the demands of the Financial Action Task Force. The island's Anti-Money Laundering Authority has launched a website to help ensure businesses conform to required standards. CBC's Trevor Thorpe has more.
The Anti-Money Laundering Authority's Compliance Unit has been set up to provide information and resources to assist in structuring businesses to meet minimum standards. The Attorney General admits there may be missteps, but he has called on the business sector to accept the entity.
The work of the Compliance Unit is invaluable. It is a new unit. We are going to, and I say we're going to make a few missteps along the way, but never with malice, and always from the perspective of trying to improve our work and improve our relationship with you.
Chief Compliance Officer Shari Squires says the website has been constructed in 2 phases.
This website is in a 2-phase approach. This is the first phase that we are launching today. The second phase will be a portal where we're going to have the DNFBPs, which is the designated non-financial businesses and professionals. We're going to have a portal where you can log in, you will to register with the compliance unit. Any information that we need you to submit, you will upload it using the website.
Ms. Squires has revealed more details about the site, which was created during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We have the About Us section, so this gives us a whole background in terms of who we are as a compliance unit, when we were created, why we were created, and we have information about our vision, mission, philosophy. All of that is there. We have about our board, which is the Anti-Money Laundering Authority, and this is the supervisory board, and you will just see a breakdown of the members of who actually sit on the board in terms of representatives from other government agencies, and then there are 4 independent directors on our board.
The Anti-Money Laundering Authority's Compliance Unit also offers on-site and off-site monitoring services. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
It's been confirmed that the island's Independence Celebrations Parade in March past will be headed to the community of Black Rock. The parade will take place at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex, while the March past will proceed along Black Rock Main Road to Carlton Supermarket, where the official salute will be taken. Home Affairs Minister Wilfred Abrams says the venue has been selected because of the unavailability of other sites, including Kensington Oval, the Garrison Savannah, Weymouth Police Sports Club, and the Bridgetown Port. And that is our news update. Remember, we'll have our next newscast at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network of stations. Morning Barbados continues after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school, Cub Scout or Brownie Pack, or any organization or club with children ages 4 to 11 years? If yes is the answer, then we at Fun School, we're looking for you. Let's have fun singing, dancing, listening to amazing stories, doing craft, and so much more. I'm such a kid at heart. But to be part of this fun and exciting new season of Fun School, just simply send an email to Alicia Alves Grant at aagrant@cbc.bb for further details. Fun School is back, and we're looking for you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Oh, hi. My name is Stacia Whitaker, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and a member of the Heart and Stroke Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. My motto is when in doubt, leave it out, and it goes for when I'm eating, because sometimes things have ingredients that we're not sure of, and I like to keep it simple. And if I'm eating something and I'm not sure the ingredients in that particular thing, then I choose to leave it out. So I keep my snacking simple with fruit, nuts, or just water. It's easy to remember, there's no added ingredients, and it's also very nutritious. So remember, childhood obesity is real, so choose healthier alternatives. And when in doubt, leave it out.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department.
Reducing blood glucose levels. Now, in diabetes, however, blood glucose remains high because the pancreas does not supply enough insulin to meet the body's needs, and the body's cells do not respond to insulin like they should. So be mindful of that as we think about diabetes and how we can continue to combat the NCD. That, of course, brought to you with the compliments of Glucerna. Start your day.
The Morning Barbados Health Tip was brought to you by Glucerna. Bring on the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
98.1's The One is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We're a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners. And we're committed to working with our clients and advertisers to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve.
98.1 The One.
Celebrating 18 and still your #1 party station.
From the beautiful shores of the Gem of the Caribbean.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so it's 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Great to have you with us. And we're always very, very happy to highlight the work that our exceptional youth are doing. And it most certainly seems like we are talking a great deal about Harrison College today. I mean, you know, they were in the news talking about transformation in education. They won again the boys and girls swim championships. And now here they are with Cardell Ferguson, who of course is general manager of the Barbados Youth Business Trust. And they're here because they're the winners of the Pitching for Progress competition.
Yes.
So Cardell, Welcome. Good to have you with us. I've not seen you for quite some time.
We've seen each other virtually, but not in person, so it's lovely to be back in your presence.
Wonderful. So talk to us about the Pitching for Progress competition.
So the Pitching for Progress competition was part of Global Entrepreneurship Week, which of course was last week, the 13th to the 19th of November. So BYBT, as the national host of Global Entrepreneurship Week, have been working to celebrate the spirit of entrepreneurship. And what we wanted to do was to highlight how Barbados and its entrepreneur can thrive in a global landscape. So what we've done is we've introduced students from different secondary schools to topical issues that we are facing here in Barbados. We've highlighted 4 areas: health, agriculture, the environment, and tourism as our 4 topical issues. And the students were then exposed to information about these areas to come up with a solution. So we were looking from problem to solution and to get our youth and their innovative, creative ways of solving things into the fore.
Wonderful. So tackling some societal issues is what it really is about. So joining us this morning, we have Jaden Gill, Atiba Seeley Thompson, Dominic Highland, and Ajani Maynard, winners for Pitching for Progress with their business idea, Travel Twins. I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Ajani. Talk to me a little bit about how the idea came around.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Travel Twins came about as we believe that tourism was one of the most prominent issues in Barbados. The tourism industry is one of the most profitable industries in Barbados, and it's the main revenue generator. So we believe that it is best to say that we address the tourism issue.
All right, good stuff. What about you, Dominic? Talk to me about how you guys went about coming up with this particular pitch.
So I think it all started with an activity during the seminar, Solidarity. So basically, each group had to come up with a pitch, and everybody was brainstorming. And of course, we had issues, of course, trying to find something, but Atiba came up with a brilliant idea. We never even thought of it, to use almost like a matchmaking app to link locals with tourists, to have a more personalized experience, more authentic experience. So I thought from there, that was a lot to be developed.
All right, it truly is a wonderful idea. There are a lot of people who are in the market for having that authentic experience that you talked about when they're traveling. So they don't just want another restaurant that is reflective of through the foods and so on that they have where they are, but they want to really experience that. So we're going to talk to Atiba about that in a little bit. But Jaden, tell me a little bit about how the idea struck you.
Well, we all put ideas together. We went back and forth. Then we thought about Uber. And we were like, how can we do something like that for us as a country? Using the topic of tourism, we linked it with, as Dominic said and mentioned, matchmaking. So imagine you like dancing, you like going to the beach. Well, you can find a travel twin who can advise you and help you go across the island and show you suggested places. That's mainly it. How we came up with the idea.
All right, beautiful stuff. Great to see great minds working together to come up with the idea. Atiba, now you were credited with, kind of getting things going. So talk to me a little bit about, how this one came to you and then how you were able to bring it to your other team members and work together to come up with this winning pitch.
I think it really stemmed from the idea of thinking outside the box and seeing as I thought of agriculture and health, and I thought of things that were already in place to kind of solve those problems. So I thought of tourism, and we actually received a little bit of guidance from our teacher, Mr. Morgan, and he was talking about how a lot of tourists come here and they end up spending a lot of money at their hotel or their cruise liner, at their restaurants, and just not really experiencing the island because they don't know where to go, they don't know where to spend their money, and we lose out on that profit and that economic activity that we could have. So in order to combat that, I thought of a way of why don't they do that? And that's because most of them don't know and they're alone. So they decide, I think it will make sense to have someone who could show them around and say, okay, this is the best restaurant here. I like this one. If you like fish, come to Oysters. If you like to go to the beach, go on the South Coast. Like so if someone can do that, they would get them out of the hotel and then into the country to experience and spend their money here.
All right, good stuff. I'm coming back to you, Ajani. I want to hear about, what competition day was like, because you guys were up against the final 4 proposals that made it big. Were from Alene School, the Lodge School, Grant the Adams Memorial, and of course college. So pitching day, were you guys still kind of pitching ideas? Did you have it all together? Were you still tweaking? How did it go?
Competition day was nerve-wracking. My team arrived late. But all in all, we were very well prepared. We had our idea finalized. We had our presentation, our speeches. We were our school blazers, and all in all,
you did exceptionally well, because here you are as the winners. Yes.
Yes, please.
All right, good stuff. All right, Dominic, for on the day of, what was the plan going into it? Because this most certainly was not just your average presentation. You're making a business pitch, so I would imagine you'd have to tweak your presentations to determine who would do what and how the 4-man team would work out for the pitching.
All right, so when we got there, it was obvious that Ajani, like he said, we had to kind of like rush to put everything together. So he would have set it up in the way we were Jaden and Ajani would do the presentation, the slides, and then me and Atiba would be the primary ones answering the questions. So I feel like we already had everything covered. It wasn't an issue really about lacking the necessary information.
So you were ready. You went in prepared and you were good to go. That's wonderful to hear. Jaden, your thoughts on pitch day? How did it go?
Oh, pitch day was great, to be honest with you. Yeah, as Dominic mentioned, we were prepared. We got right into it. We went last in the order, and honestly, I like that we go last. We get to finish it off with a bang. We received some great questions from the judges. As you know, the judges were exceptional because they chose us. But at the end of the day, it was a great competition. I do thank this young lady here. Well-received competition as a whole. The day was perfect. The food was even better, but I enjoyed my time there, enjoyed the competition, I learned a lot of things.
That's good stuff. Atiba, what was the day like for you?
The day was great. The day was also stressful a little bit, but I was kind of laughing in the stress because of, like, as Johnny said, we had like a call time to get there, and we were there a little late, so we were like, oh God, we're going to be disqualified. And we were so prepared, we put so much hard work in, so I was like, I gotta get there. But we got there, and we were able to relax and put ourselves together and really sort out, okay, what each person is going to do, and we felt confident in what we had to present and strong in our belief.
No, Cardell, I did that because I wanted to show, that, how prepared they were and how serious they are, because I could see that they are serious about this. How important is it for the BYBT to be able to work with young people and continue to instill a spirit of entrepreneurship in them?
So, I like that question because we are currently in the process of rebranding and extending our services. So one of the areas that we're extending to is to ensure that young people are given the opportunity to see entrepreneurship as a viable career prospect. So providing all of the avenues for young people to express themselves and to be part of economic development becomes very important to the mandate of BYBT. We're currently working with 3 young persons programs. So we have one we call the Enterprise Challenge that we're doing with the Princess Trust International. In that one, we introduce business to young people, and then we give them an opportunity to play a simulated game to come out on top of the leaderboard. That one also finishes in a pitch competition. We also recognize that sometimes in our school system, we don't fully prepare our young people for the world of work. So we have a decision-making program where we do a comparative analysis with the participants to determine whether going to work for somebody or starting their own business is the path that they want to choose. So that's the second program that we do with the young people. And then during Global Entrepreneurship Week, we try to focus our activities on different facets of our society. So we have the school programs, we have programs for existing and, persons who are interested in entrepreneurship. And then we also have programs for partners. So this year, during Global Entrepreneurship Week, our partner event was the Business Over Breakfast. That was very, very well done. So we had speakers like Derek Foster, we had Raphael Saul giving the motivation, we had Mark Hill, and we also had Catherine Rochford, who would then have given them ideas about how to build their brand. And then the Pitching for Progress competition, what that one was is that we recognize in Barbados that we have several issues that we need to address as a country. And so it was diversifying our tourism product, which is the one that Harrison College chose to do. We had creating food security under agriculture, dealing with NCDs and its effects on productivity. That was the one for health. And then we also had one on creating a greener Barbados through environmental sustainability.
All right, that's amazing stuff. It's wonderful, and it's great to hear that 16 years on, you are still attacking Global Entrepreneurship Week in the way that you are. Of course, this time around it was under the theme celebrating the spirit of entrepreneurship, thriving on a global landscape. I'm happy to see that you guys are so, serious about getting out there. Are you a part of any debating societies or what have you at school? What about you, Atiba?
Not particularly debating society.
Something like it?
I would say, I guess, Key Club would be one of the ways that we have to present ourselves for speeches a lot and public speaking. So that could have also been one that really prepared me for writing a speech and talking in public and stuff like that.
I think it's a little more than that. What about you, Jay?
Well, we actually have a really good debating club at Harrison College. Right now it's down because the teacher has left us, but hopefully it gets back to normalcy and we begin to continue to be great debaters. But I've been introduced to many programs because of it, like Model UN. That was a great one. If you guys get advertised that, I suggest you do it. It's a great one.
Johnny?
No, I'm not part of the debating club. However,
how did the guys rope you in then? Because I could tell that you're the shy guy in the midst of things.
My accounts teacher offered me the position in competition.
Yeah, so an opportunity to work with the others.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
And you like it? Is bolstered? You know,
Yes,
how you feel about?
It's been a tremendous experience so far.
All right, that's good stuff. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Dominic Highland. Last time I saw you were shorter than I was. Can't say that's the case any longer. Yes, tell me about your background in speaking and pitching and stuff like that.
So I actually, in terms of clubs, I actually don't have that much experience public speaking. But of course, through conversations, learning from conversations, learning what not to do. I feel like eventually I just improve and improve and improve to a point where I could hold a decent conversation. Mm-hmm. So I feel, obviously, there's more to improve. Obviously, I could go out there, go to different clubs, events, improve my speech. So that's definitely an area I could work on.
All right, wonderful stuff. A little birdie tells me that you have a good coach at home. Mm-hmm. So, it's wonderful to see young men especially, kind of banding together and putting an idea out there. And who knows, in another few years, we might see this come to fruition. Yes, guys? Yeah. A resounding yes?
That is
yes.
Actually the point of it. So they want some funding that is to help them to implement that idea. So with the support of BYBT and its network, we are hoping that we see this come to fruition and it becomes a legacy that they leave with Harrison College when they leave. And it might be a social enterprise where they continue to be directors and benefiting from it going forward.
All right, that's beautiful. And finally, Cardell, talk to us. You mentioned you guys are going through a rebranding of sorts.
Yes.
And you're incorporating some new programs that you're offering. So talk to us about how we can reach out to the BYBT to be able to capitalize on all that you're offering.
Right. So you can find out a lot about what we're doing through our social media, and we have also revamped our website. Our new website our website is now bybt.bb. And on bybt.bb, you can find out a lot about all of the programs that we're doing. You'll see our new brand colors, and we're all excited about all the things that are happening. We are offering some programs that encompass not age-specific entrepreneurship, but those persons who are entrepreneurial minded, because we recognize that there are persons who are younger than 18 who are looking to start businesses, and there are persons who are over 35 that are also looking to start businesses. So we want to help them in as much as possible and bring together the people who can bring them towards entrepreneurial success.
All right, that's wonderful. Congratulations again, guys. Jaden Gill, Atiba Seeley Thompson, Dominic Highland, Ajani Maynard, winners of the Pitching for Progress competition with their idea, Travel Twins. Yes. Yeah, twinsies. Yes. So you want to go somewhere and you're looking for twinsies to go with us. Yeah, good stuff. Great idea, guys. And of course, Cardell, you guys are always doing wonderful work. We used to work harder to get together for Global Entrepreneurship.
We will again.
So make sure that we make things right.
No problem.
In 2024.
And in 2024, we're celebrating 30 years of BYBT supporting the Barbadian community. So we are looking to start it off and run through 2024 with a bang. So there may be a lot of opportunities for us to get together.
Excellent. And of course, I take this opportunity to say congratulations to college for cleaning shop, taking every title. What, 12 years for the boys in swimming, 11 years for the girls?
I think so, yeah.
Too much to count. Quite a legacy that you're working with there. All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, a little bit of dance, so stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kia Lewis, General Practitioner and Healthy Lifestyle Advocate. Good nutrition starts at home. So this school year, I want you to consider packing healthy, nutritious snacks and lunches for your children to carry, rather than having them buy them at school. And don't just pack things you think they should have. Have a discussion and come up with things that you both know they will enjoy.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
It's summer vacation, and CBC TV8 says laugh a little. Your mid-mornings have now included some family-friendly, side-splitting series like The Partridge Family, Benson, and Designing Women. TV not to be missed this vacation. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on CBC TV8. It's match.
welcome to D'Amico Newton. Good to have you with us. D'Amico is a dancer, a soca artist, and an actor, and he's in the process of completing another associate's degree in the arts. Is it another associate's degree or a full degree? Yes, a second associate's degree in dance after completing the first in theater arts at BCC. Good morning, D'Amico, and welcome.
Good morning, Tisha, and good morning, Barbados. Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have you with us. You are truly someone who is steeped in the arts. You absolutely love it. What has fueled this passion?
Honestly, I would say my mentors and past teachers. It started in primary school with my principal at the Garden Waters, well then principal at the Garden Waters Primary School, Mr. Tyrone Marshall. Just one day he called me in the office and I think I'm in trouble. But then when I got into the office, he told me that to sing, just read these lines, these couple lines, and he will play the drum towards it. And then that's where my introduction to theater arts was. But I always had my love for dance and soca growing up, but I just never had the courage to. But after, passing for the Christian Foundation School and then doing theater arts, my theater arts teacher, Mr. Angelo Lascelles, after having conversations with him, he really motivated me and encouraged me and telling me, D'Amico, you have this talent. You are worthy. You are enough. You don't let no one stop you from achieving your goals, because at the end of the day, it's all about you and you can only live your life. So after doing theater arts and finishing Christian Foundation School, I then went to do theater arts. And then just meeting more teachers, Dr. John Hunt, he was like, dance is for you, go. So I was still like, all these persons seeing something in me and I'm not fully seeing it. So then I eventually decided to go do the dance program and I just completed it. And yeah, now it's just going on from now on to the next chapter of my life.
What was it like doing that dance program? After not necessarily seeing what other people were seeing in you, what was it like going through that entire process?
It was an emotional journey. It had its high, it had its lows. I really enjoyed it. I found new stuff about myself that I would have never known. I found a truer love and truer passion for that. And yeah, it's just amazing. It was just amazing. The persons I've gotten to work with, to meet, it's just so aesthetic.
All right. Now, you did your first soca song called Slow Whining. I'm yet to hear that song. I'm very intrigued, though, D'Amico. I'm going to go searching when I get off air because I want to hear that song now. So you did your first song then.
Unfortunately, it's not recorded. Yes, but I do intend to do it over and probably do a remix to it. But yeah, I did it for the Junior Calypso Monarch at the time, because there was a party element added, a party prize for the best party song. So I was like, okay, Calypso ain't really my thing, but if this is a way to step into the soca realm, then I'll go. And I made it to the semifinals. And then end up doing a guest performance for the final. From there on, I would have joined. The next year, there was the Junior Soca Monarch, which was produced by Tread 10 TV and Crystal Cummings Beckles Holder. And they really thought that it was time that young persons had the opportunity to experience soca and, to always also push the drive that young persons could do it too. We have our fathers and our godfathers and our kings and queens of the soca realm, but the youth can do it too. So I would have sang my song Alive that year and placed second in the competition. And it was just grow from then on.
I'm still going to find it. Even though you say you didn't record it, remember, I can still find it, especially since you were in Junior Monarch.
Yes, please.
I can absolutely find it. Now, you said that you want to be a teacher so that you can share all that you have learned through these passions that you've been really, I don't even want to say studying, but just kind of honing and enhancing and growing with over the last few years. So talk to me about, you know, that passion in you now to be a teacher.
Yes, please. So I got a glimpse of that experience after being an intern teacher of another nature dance company, and just working with young persons, you know, teaching them what I know, and then they're also teaching me as I go on. It's just a good experience, you know. It's all about growth. It's all about connections. It's all about helping one to help yourself and help the overall growth of the art in Barbados.
You're also a part of, now you mentioned the of another nature dance troupe, but you also joined Dancing Africa in 2022. How has that contributed to all that you are as an artist?
That's in Africa would have been the first group I joined, and it has been amazing. They have helped me grow artistically, emotionally, physically. It was just, I just love the group. I love the aspect it has. You know, if one person is not getting something done, you know, three persons are going to run there to help that one person, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as the worst person, you know. And it's all about family, it's all about community, it's all about love, it's all about growth. So I really love the idea.
Good stuff. I love your spirit and a very infectious smile. Today is actually called National Smile Day. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. I usually say smile because I'm always smiling too, so I get it. So what are the plans for after community college when you all wrap all of this up? What's going on with you? Where are you heading?
So yes, please. So just like my colleague CJ, I am also going to the Florida to do the Disney internship program. And when I come back, I want to, you know, I'll go there and try to make some connections, see what I can bring to Barbados. Maybe, you know, I might go there and see someone who's giving opportunities, who's looking for dancers, who would be looking for technicians, you know, whatever they may be looking for, you know. It's just to put Barbados on the map again and showing them that, you know, we have the talent, you know. It didn't only stop there with Rihanna, but there's more.
Yes, there most certainly is more. Yeah? And I can see that you truly are passionate about what you do. So again, congratulations and thanks for flying the Barbadian flag high in advance.
Thank you.
When you get there, I'm sure you're going to be very, very successful in all that you do. You know, just like I spoke with the last young lady who was on. Have you ever been to Disney?
Unfortunately, no, but can't wait.
Don't say unfortunately. Don't say unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you've not been, because you know, the gleam, that glimmer that will be in your eye once you see it, I think is going to ignite an even greater passion in you for performance and dance and all of that wonderful stuff. So when you come back, or before you do, once you get that surprise, you have to reach out and say, Tisha, you were right. Here's what happened. All right. So congratulations to you, Mr. Newton. And I certainly wish you all the best in the future. It's been my honor speaking to you here on Morning Barbados. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
My friend, You don't plan to get her? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
I'm Anne St. John, a consultant pediatrician. When packing healthy lunch boxes, do include a fruit, which includes a banana, apple, orange, or grapes to supply fiber. Aim for low-calorie packaged snacks without the mention of flour or sugar amongst the four ingredients on the back label. 1 in 3 children in Barbados is affected by overweight or obesity. Let us join together as parents and care providers to reduce.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some good music. CBC is proud to be a sponsor of the COB Credit Union Soca Gold 5, the Calypso Kings edition. Now, we're inviting you to join us on November 29th at Wyndham Grand Barbados, Sam Lord's Castle Resort and Spa as we celebrate with our kings. Hear this: Edwin, RPB, Serenader, Gabby, Classic, John King, Adrian Clark, Blood and I Web. Let's support families in need with the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust and its partners at the COB Credit Union Soca Gold 5, the King's Edition. Is sponsored by 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience, and CBC Connecting Barbadian Communities. Time for your question of the day. It's a chance for you to win big time with the compliments of CBC, COB, the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust, and the Calypso Kings Edition of COB Credit Union Soca Gold 5. Here's your question. Who won the crown in 2002 with Judgment and This Melody? It's impossible for you to get this wrong. 228-5562 and 228-5563. I can remember it like it was yesterday. This Melody and Judgment. Who won the crown back in 2002 with those songs? Like I said, it is impossible for you to get this wrong. So call me up and win this ticket, because this might be easily, hands down, the easiest question they've posed to date, most certainly for the soca connoisseurs, or the calypso connoisseurs, I must say, because there is a differentiation. So for those of you who love the finals and who love Calypso Kings and Kaiso music, you know this without even a second thought or a second glance. So get close to your phone lines, 228-5562 and 228-5563. Those are your numbers to call. Usually people tell me they can't get through because it's so busy. Let's see who's on the phone line. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Where are you calling us from?
Calling from St. Michael.
Where in St. Michael?
Wildy in St. Michael.
Hey, good morning to everybody in Wildy, St. Michael.
Yes.
All right, you know this answer. I don't even have to repeat the question. Who won the crown in 2002 with Judgment and This Melody?
Adrian A.T. Clark.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Of course. Were you there at the finals?
I was not, but I love This Melody.
Yes? You know when you
Yes.
call the name of a song on Morning Barbados, you have to raise it, right?
No problem at all.
All right, that's all right. And you love Calypso, so I'm sure you're going to thoroughly enjoy coming out on the 29th and being a part of it. Thank you for participating.
Thank you so much.
Stay on the line so we can get your information.
There were hardly donuts inside. Would she make it through the night?
Her pulse was not of a consistent beat, and her heart was getting weak. Must do something and do it quick before to the great beyond she claimed. So that's why I'll be singing this melody. I'll give to she, powerful and strong, to help soul commotion. Each note that I sing, I'm hoping will bring my soca around to a healthier position.
Beautiful, beautiful, wasn't it? And did you see how many people were there on the grounds? Absolutely good stuff. So make sure you go on out and pick up your tickets to be a part of the Calypso Kings edition coming up. Number 5 is coming up at the Wyndham Sam Lawrence Castle. All right, so we're going to take a break, and I'm wondering if you know what these are. Do you know what these are? Have you ever seen them? And it's not Bonavis, all right? It's not Bonavis. We have to say a thank you to Auntie Sandy. She's helping us with some Bajan trivia. So if you think you know what these are, then you can let us know. That's all coming up next. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I'm Anne St. John, a consultant pediatrician. When packing healthy lunch boxes, do include a fruit, which includes a banana, apple, orange, or grapes to supply fiber. Aim for low-calorie packaged snacks without the mention of flour or sugar amongst the four ingredients on the back label. 1 in 3 children in Barbados is affected by overweight or obesity. Let us join together as parents and care providers to reduce the further development of this chronic non-communicable disease within our communities.
Kids Karaoke is a platform for young aspiring singers to shine and express their musical abilities. Tune in to CBC TV8 on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. and repeat it on Saturdays at 2 p.m. and enjoy the performances of these talented young singers.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Now, did you know that the Pride of Barbados flower is a member of the pea family? I didn't know that. So the pods that come from the plant are actually peas, and I'm told that you can eat them. I didn't try it, but we have to say thanks so much to Auntie Sandy Field. So she came here to CBC and she brought us these. There were a few of them, and she said these come off of the Pride of Barbados. And she also brought us a big vase, a big beautiful vase of Pride of Barbados flowers. That's what you're looking at there right now. But do you know what this pea is called? Of course, by us here in Barbados. The Pride of Barbados is our national flower. But she says that this particular thing is, it has a very interesting name. She said it's called dead man's flesh. Have you ever heard about that? The pea that comes off of the Pride of Barbados flower, she says it's called dead man's flesh. Interesting stuff. So you can tell us, you know, what you think if you've heard of it and what you did, because Auntie Sandy says that you can husk them, you shell it out, and you eat the little pea inside. And that's what people did. I never knew that. Look at how beautiful the Pride of Barbados flower is that Auntie Sandy brought for us are. She actually brought them for us day before yesterday. She came here to bring them, but we had them here in the studio. I think it was a little too cold, so they weren't looking too happy. And we put them outside and gave them some nice water. And here they are, just like us, resilient, bounce back and looking real good. Yeah, so beautiful on this day as we continue to celebrate. Now, I know you heard that the parade is now at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex, so make sure you come on down. There's room for spectators. There's room for people to come and witness the pomp and ceremony, the spectacle, or you can stay along Black Rock Main Road as they make their way up and past Carlton Supermarket for that part of the parade. Today is Thursday. That means it's Q Day. Q in the community is on today. So make sure you head on over to Flash Zone Bar on Black Rock and be a part of Q in the community. Of course, you can tune in from 11 o'clock in the morning to be a part of it. 11 o'clock on Q 100.7 FM. Jaquila will be there. You're going to get to see Kimberly, Andre. He's on vacation. But the family, they're always out. The marketing team, they're always there too. Coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados, the winners of the Cooperators General Insurance Secondary School Speak Off competition as we continue to salute our exceptional youth. We're going to talk about the NCF's mural project, and it's a Fresh Friday with a former member of Square One. I don't know if you're going to be able to guess which one, but one of them will be here for Fresh Friday tomorrow. So that's it from us. Have a fantastic day today. Remember, we're expecting a few showers, so make sure you plan for that. Before I go, I have to say a special good morning and happy birthday to someone I consider one of my very best friends. We can't choose our family, but we can choose our friends. And this friend happens to be my sister, Cynthia. It's her birthday today. So happy birthday to you, my love. I love you more than words can ever say. And I'm going to make sure it's a wonderful birthday for you today. On behalf of the entire team, I wish you two a wonderful day. Remember to wear your smiles and, of course, do something nice for someone and come back and join us for the Friday edition tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.